If you believe that standing up for evidence and reason and respecting the rule of law is critical to our democracy, you've got to vote for Democrats.
Hillary Clinton blasting the Republican Party while campaigning for New York Governor Andrew Cuomo today. Good luck to him. Joining me now is Capri Cafaro, former Ohio State Senate Minority Leader and a Washington Examiner contributor, and A.B. Stoddard, RealClearPolitics Associate Editor and columnist. Thanks to both of you for joining us.
Absolutely.
A.B., what do you think about that? I mean, do you think that Democrats want to have Hillary Clinton on the campaign trail for them?
I don't think they're desiring this, but she's going to work very, very hard to insert herself wherever she can, and she wants to stay relevant. She wants to be active. She wants some sort of revenge. I think it's very tough for Democrats who are trying to resist the leftward pull of the party, who are not looking for Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren to show up at their events and raise money for them and endorse them. Who else is left, because Barack Obama is sort of hiding out and not wanting to be a really visible player on stage. So Hillary Clinton sort of steps into that void if you're trying to remain kind of a more center-left Democrat. But I still think on balance she's a bad choice. The story always becomes about her, and I think it's a mistake for candidates to be seen with her.
Capri, I mean, this really represents that struggle on the left between, are you going to be Hillary Clinton and it's sort of impeach Trump, or are you part of the far left, which feels more like the revolution? It's Bernie Sanders, but it's also like Cynthia Nixon here in New York.
Right.
That part of the party. What do you think is a more successful way for Democrats to go?
Neither, as a matter of fact.
Really?
I don't think that it's the right thing to do to continue to be, Hillary Clinton. I mean, obviously she was not successful in the 2016 election because she wasn't able to connect with voters. People want something new and fresh. At the same time, the Bernie Sanders, and Elizabeth Warren wing, I think is too progressive for mainstream Democrats. If you want to be able to win in swing districts across the Midwest, the South, for example, you need to be able to connect directly with voters. You need to be able to reflect the districts and places that you are trying to represent. And I think that is the way that Democrats are going to be successful, by appropriately recruiting candidates. And unfortunately, they're not necessarily electing these candidates in primaries, which is a whole different issue. One final thing I will say about the situation with Hillary Clinton campaigning for Andrew Cuomo is that this is very unique to the state of New York. I think that overall, Hillary is still very popular in the state of New York, and Cynthia Nixon has been, drawing the progressive side. She's able to she's able to run as a working families party candidate as well, which is a unique sort of characteristic of running in New York State. And I think that Andrew Cuomo is trying to bring together, the traditional Democratic base, and I think Hillary Clinton only in the state of New York can do that.
A.B., although I would say, so every time we see her out at a speech, it's good for our viewers to understand she's getting paid to be there. So it means that people want her there. I mean, maybe she seems unpopular among some groups, but somebody wants her, because every time we see her out there, I mean, she doesn't show up anywhere for free. So people are paying her to come.
But she's also trying to raise money for candidates to be relevant as well. Look, as I said, I think this is what Democrats see as their only sort of, establishment choice, when they're trying to resist being tied with the Elizabeth Bernie wing. So they think, well, what choice do I have, right? I need some firepower over in the center of our party. And as I said, I think President Obama would be a much better choice, but he seems to be resisting right now being involved. And I think that Capri is right. What they really need to do is start over and try to run as Democrats who can earn back the kind of voters that they lost, that President Obama lost, and who Donald Trump won and Hillary didn't. And that's going to take some guts. But I think that's the only way that they make it back into the mainstream, winning at the national level again.
Capri, is it about that? Is it about the message, or is it just about the personality? I mean, people make comparisons between Trump and between Bernie Sanders in the sense that they were, sort of extremes, or maybe they represented the same kind of rebellion on both sides. But maybe it was just about magnetic characters that drew people into those two candidates, and it's really about the person. Barack Obama, was someone who just attracted a lot of people, regardless of what any of these people are saying.
Sure. I mean, look at Bill Clinton. Obviously, people look to him in 1992, and even in 1996. You take a look at Al Gore, who has been, historically been, referred to as wooden against George W. Bush, who people said they wanted to have a beer with. So I think personalities always play a part in, the political choices. But just because you're, magnetic doesn't necessarily make you an appropriate policymaker. And at the end of the day, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win either.